Hello, it's Lakeisha, and today I just want to share with you my art journal. I actually started this a couple years ago, and I finally finished it. It's a work of art in itself. It's just so like fat and warped. This is a Moleskine sketchbook, and like as you can see, the binding is split, and there's paint all over it, and I really love it for that. But let's just go ahead and get started. So my first page was actually on August 4th, 2012, and I just said that I will not allow obstacles to stand in my way. And I think at this point I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, so I just collaged a bunch of pieces in here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. My next page, I took a different approach, and sorry about the change in layout. I used colored pencils, acrylic, a cutout from a magazine, and a drawing that I did of a flower. I love how vibrant this page is, and it's just so colorful, and I still find it to be very striking. Here's a 2-page spread I did. And as you can see, here's the collage element that I based my first page off of. I was just trying to draw it. And again, with the magazine cutouts, and used a bit of white paint to draw some leaves and stuff, and some scrapbook paper for the flower. At this time, I was actually really interested in stamps, so this is there's some motifs in here from stamps that I had carved myself. This page is titled Bloom Blossom Become, and I want to say this is a little bit after I got my Silhouette Cameo, and I was so excited to be able to like cut really intricate words and things out, and still following the same themes as the other pages. I used a hand-carved stamp here, and I've added some flowers, and I really love head wraps and patterns. And here is the another page using the Bloom Blossom Become. On this one, I used the negative from the cutout, and here's another stamp that I carved myself, and I believe I used embossing powder for this one. This just says, "Let's do this like Brutus." I want to say this is when I first got my Distress inks, and I was really just trying to play around with that, and maybe gesso and some more of the stamps that I carved myself. This page is using a drawing that I did of a flower and a whole bunch of collage elements and acrylic inks. Again, I really love how like bright and vibrant this is, and I would probably really love to have this as like a painting in my house. This might be something that I revisit later. We fast forward a couple of years. On January 20th, 2014, I created this page with a photograph of myself, and I started experimenting with new things. So this is molding paste and just letter stickers and a little bit of journaling. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted my like art journal style to be, and at the time, everyone that I was like looking at had really messy, muddy pages, and I was just trying to figure out where I fit in with that. I think I might have also been watching maybe Donna Downey, maybe her Inspiration Wednesday videos, because I see that they've got like tape here in the middle, and Yeah, I just wrote that. Today I'm strong enough to walk away from the things and people that no longer serve me. Life is too short to be so unhappy. Today I create new rules. Today I am free. Um, and there's a page that just says, trust yourself enough to take a break. And that's exactly what I did. Um, you can't see it really down here, but it says it's okay. And when I came back, I was doing something totally different. I walked away from the messiness. Well, I kept some of it, the textured backgrounds, but I really added an illustrative element to my art journal pages. And this is a mixture of a lot of things. So I have my cutout motifs, and I've got collaged elements. I collaged on the hair, the headband, the earrings, and the necklace. And I played around with gelatos and acrylic paint and my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I like really let loose and did whatever it was that I wanted to do with this page. And I really love how textured it came out, and just I think this really started to set the tone for what I wanted my art journals to be about and how I wanted them to look. And this page was from April 6, 2014. My next page, I continued on with the same sort of look and feel, again with tons of collaged elements. I love Pussy Willows, so this is a cut file that I created in Illustrator that I took into my Silhouette Cameo to cut out. And these are also flower cut files that I did to create this necklace. The hair is some scrapbook paper that I collaged on, and I used gelatos for the face and some of the painting. This one was from April 8th, so I was really on a roll there. I did like, it only took me a couple days to come back to it as opposed to like several months. This page is sort of incomplete. I could never really commit myself to doing anything to it because I was too attached to how like pretty it was. I used Tim Holtz tissue paper on this one, and I cut out some butterflies, and I used gelatos and gold Sharpies, and I am a big fan of like teal, turquoise, aqua, and all that stuff, so you'll see it on like nearly every page. On April 27th, 2014, I created this page, and I really love the numbered butterflies that I did with stencils, and again, I want to say like the gold Sharpie, collaged on the necklace, and everything else is just painted on. At the time, I was still learning about mediums, so there's like a really crazy sheen to it, but luckily you can't see it on camera, so I guess that will be just my little secret of trying to figure out like what works best for me, and what materials that I want to use to create my pages. This one isn't dated, but I really wanted to play around with like a more illustrative style and tell a story, so I used my Pussy Willow cut file again. It's one of my like most recurring things, and this is completely like collaged on. The only thing I painted was the face and the hair, so these flowers aren't, they're painted elements that I collaged on, and this snake I collaged on. There's some collage here too with the polka dots. This is another page that doesn't have a date on it, but I came back in again with some of the stamps that I had hand carved, and I played around a lot with transparency. So for a lot of the pages in the beginning of my book, the most important thing to me was, I guess, the playtime that came with laying down the background and adding texture and color, and I really focused on that. And then I would go, oh well, I guess I can draw a face, and then I would draw my face and go from there. I really didn't plan a lot, so I never really knew where the pages were going to turn out. I used some more scrapbooking paper. This is like, I guess, Studio Calico, to create the headband or the head wrap. I just think they're so like pretty. I'm really into pattern and color and texture, if you haven't been able to tell. This page, it's not really one of my like favorites, but it exists. I was trying to do something different and sort of mimic, I guess, the color pop that I had here with the red and purples and teals and greens, but for me it just didn't feel the same. But the flowers are completely collaged on, and yeah, I used some stencils to add some hearts and stuff to the background. Here's another page where I totally changed up the layout. But on this page, I did some collage so that her hat is collaged on and the butterflies are collaged on. Oh, as well as her shirt. It's a piece of vellum and it's got some polka dots on it. I'll try to include the photos so that you can get a better look at all of these pages once I'm finished recording the video. This one is from July 5th, 2014. And one of the things that I really liked was the purples and the teal, how the two of those colors look together. Oops. So one of the things that I didn't like about this journal was that the acrylics stuck together. So I think maybe wax paper is my best bet for getting them to not stick, but for now I just have sheets of printer paper, maybe some of the pages that I use to keep the other pages from getting messed up, like this one, or stuck in between there, just to sort of separate the pages until I get to a point where I'm ready to, I guess, address it. On this page, I had first got my mists. I think there's a Heidi Swapp shimmer mist or something, so there's a lot of like spray and splatter, and again with the butterflies. The one thing that makes this page different, or two things I should say, is that I used pastels to do some of the shading, and I also embossed a little saying on here. It says "The sky's the limit." I got the illustrative part of my art journal pages down, but not so much the like storytelling part. So I was trying to figure out a way to add more words to my pages. This one is supposed to be Frida Kahlo, and it's close. The likeness, I didn't quite get it, but you know, the art journal is pretty much a place for you to explore and play around and have fun. So even when things don't come out 100% the way that I want them to, I still try to look at it as like a learning experience. So again, I'm using the mists and acrylic paint, and there's a lot of collage. There's some Latka paper for her shirt, and everything else is just acrylic paint. On this page, which it's one of my favorites because I really like the shape of her body and her face, and I feel like you know, it's saying a lot without having to like, I don't know, include words. There's a visual story here. And for this page, I use gold Sharpie for her headband and her septum piercing, which I just think these things are so adorable. Like, I wanted a nose ring when I was younger, and I never got one, and now I'm like so tempted to get this septum piercing, but I work in an office all day, and I don't know how I would hide it um, after I first get it. So that's one of the things that's keeping me from going to get it. So yeah, this page, I also used some washi tape, this gold and black washi tape that I probably got out of a Studio Calico scrapbooking kit, as well as with some stamps. And I also did some stenciling, and there's like a funky texture that I'm not really sure how I got. It might have been that I used a clear embossing powder to do some stamping, and then I didn't really like it, so I missed it over or something. And there's also this collage sheet of paper right here that, you know, it just wound up getting painted over, but the latke has a beautiful pattern to it, so it's just got this one patterned area there. That's really interesting. This page is pretty simple. I think, again, I must have been in like a phase where I was trying to add, like, I don't know, texture or dimension or something to the pages, because there are tons of like little patchy shapes here that there's no pattern coming through them at all, but it does give the page a little bit extra. It's not as flat as it would be if I just painted on the page. This one's pretty simple, but I did add a new element, and that is chalkboard paint. So I really liked the matte finish and the slight sheen that her face had, and how they like contrasted each other. This is another page where, you know, I wasn't that in love with it, but I was trying to keep up with making things and, you know, making this somewhat a regular practice. So again, I used a whole bunch of torn pieces to add texture and shapes to the background, and I included my butterflies, and yeah, it's just acrylic paint after that. At this point, I was moving away from the less realistic color schemes, and I was trying to figure out acrylic paint, like figure out how to blend and do shading, and I was trying to get a better sense for how I wanted to develop my faces. I love how like different this page is as opposed to my other ones. It's very vibrant and bright, mostly because the background is so light, and then also the shirt is so bright as well. But here again, I'm trying to figure out how to paint more realistic faces, and there aren't that many, like, I guess, tutorials online about how to paint darker skin, so I was trying to practice painting skin tones with a fair complexioned person. Yeah. This one is just acrylic and some sort of pen. I'm not... Oh, on this one I used actually a calligrapher's nib pen and ink to do the lines the first time around, and I think maybe later on I went back over it with pen or something. Here again, I'm trying to get this realistic skin tone, which after talking to like some of my friends, my artist friends, I realized that, you know, that it's not really what acrylic is for. If I really wanted to be obsessed with the blending and whatnot, then I should switch to oil. But I've invested in my acrylics, and I'm not really trying to go that route right now. So like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what works best. So here again, I've got the Pussy Willows, and this time I use pattern paper for them. And I really love how different it is. It just adds something different to the page. I typically don't work with red at all, so for me to do a whole page in red was, I don't want to call it a big deal, but it was a little bit of a big deal. One of my favorite parts of this page are her lips, because I used so many different colors and I layered, and I really liked the graphical look to them. You can't really see it so well. Here again is another page where I'm trying to integrate more type into it. So I have some letters from a Studio Calico kit. They're sort of like transparency sheets with a little bit of color on them. And I used some stamps and gold ink, and just sort of played around with this headpiece and a darker complexioned woman. I think I saw her photo on like Instagram or something. I thought she was really beautiful. Here I switched it up completely. There's no face at all, but again, it's got my statement to bloom, blossom, and become. And I used some Tim Holtz tissue paper again to build the background, and I just sort of wanted to experiment. And this is actually the first video that I posted on YouTube, was the process for creating this page. It's from September 6, 2014. And I wanted to be a part of this website that was teaching people how to art journal, and I felt sort of, I don't want to say insecure, but I felt sort of self-conscious about the way that I created my art journal pages compared to how a lot of other people did, because I didn't have the text. I didn't have something that was like easily replicated by like someone who was just starting to art journal. So I thought I would do something slightly simpler. And I haven't opened this up in a while, and I'm noticing that some weird things have happened with the coloring. And I'm not sure if that is one of the Pitt pens that has done that or what, but that's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on this page and see how it continues to change over time. This is one of my favorite pages in this journal, and it's also the last page. And it's sort of all about giving myself permission to dream, and not being afraid of you know, being something, or being someone, or being an artist specifically. I spent a lot more time rendering the skin and trying to blend and doing a whole lot of stuff, which you can check out in my second video where I go into more detail about how I got this crazy looking butterfly, which is it's just so freaking beautiful. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, you guys might think that I'm just talking crazy right now, but I really love this page because it signified a lot for me, personally and creatively, because in like all of my now 26 years, I have never finished sketchbook, although it's not completely finished. I could probably put one more here, which I gessoed it, but I never actually added it. But I think that for the most part, this journal, you know, it served its purpose. It spans from 2012 to 2014, and now that it's 2015, I thought that I would move on to something different, and I now have a larger sketchbook that is, I think, better suited for the kind of work that I want to make. And I have it over here. This one is actually a extra large mixed media Canson spiral bound 14 by 17 pad. And when I first got it on December 17th, well, it was still 2014. December 17th, 2014, I was just sleepy and in my robe and trying to do a self-portrait with like a little bit of extra stuff. And then on the next page, one of the reasons I switched to this was so that I wouldn't have to put sheets in between them to keep the acrylic pages from rubbing up against each other. This page I introduced some new materials. So there's wax on here and caustic and drippings from the paint and a raised pattern texture that I really fell in love with. I love how it looks on the bodies, and also some gold paint. I think that's just like gold craft paint. And the mists. I used the mists on the background to give the sort of starry look to it. This page, again, I was more so focused with how do I want the faces to look? How do I want to paint them? How do I want them to appear? I added the butterflies, and these were done with Martha Stewart's gilding materials. So it's not necessarily made to be used as an art supply, but at the time it was the only gold sort of thing that I could find, and I love gold. Although now I have a beauty of a paint that I can show you in probably a favorite tools video. Here's another page where, again, I'm going with that circular, there you go, icon sort of feel, and my patterned vine in teal. And I'm going back to something I used to do in my artwork for my shows, where I'd collage bits and pieces onto the faces, and I had sort of like an epiphany to mix the two. My stylized sort of collage work and this journey that I've been going on with trying to paint faces and get them to be more realistic. Here, I just sort of went totally left field, and I went back to trying to tell stories with my art, and I was really just trying to, I don't know, figure out how I could do more, tell more, zoom out from the faces and show more body. But in the end, I just felt like this was too much of a stress for me. It was sort of like hard to get my mind to wrap around it, although I do love it. So who knows, I might try to do some more work like this in the future, but for now, it is what it is. It's just a page in here. So I have the collage Twisty Willows, and again, I've got this moon sort of icon circle in the background and some flowers that you've seen in the other journal. and a little collage bird. Again, here, this is a painting where I was obsessed with getting the face to look a certain way, and when I couldn't get it to, I decided to just collage over it. So that's my thing. If I'm painting a face and I can't get it to do what I want it to do, we're just gonna cover it up. Problem solved. Again, with my vine pattern and some scrapbooking paper, which is probably one of my favorite mediums to use. And this is my most recent page, psych, but that's a lie. There's one more that I'm working on right now. This page, I came back to a graphical element from a sketchbook from 2011 easy, and I sort of changed the way that I was thinking about painting faces, and I really loved how it came out. This is a different stencil or pattern that I use on some of my, I guess, the pieces that I would consider my fine artwork that I just brought in here. And I really love the juxtaposition of this face with this bold pattern and this gold paint. This is my favorite gold paint ever now. It's Lumiere by Jacquard. It's got sunset gold, light body metallic acrylic, and let me tell you, the best thing since I don't know, gold paint. And so here's the paints that I'm currently working on. Totally different, a whole nother beast in itself. I really wanted to paint Storm from X-Men. I don't know, I just woke up with that on my mind, and I actually just tore it a minute ago, but luckily there's matte medium and other things. I can just glue something to the back of it and fix that right up. But here again, the way that I'm thinking about painting faces has changed. I'm more or less concerned with getting the blending down, and more concerned with understanding how to layer the paint to get the shadows and the highlights and stuff, versus just trying to get it all in one go. So yep, this isn't completed, but this is where I'm at with that. So I hope you've enjoyed taking a peek into my art journals, and I hope that you will stick around and take a look at another video, and who knows, I'll probably have an update for you soon with more pages. Thanks. Bye.